While Dako stared at the main character, Slight also approached, relieved that no one had been hurt. Dako, however, thought there was something more important. She started staring at Rushel, getting everyone's attention, including hers, and worrying the main character. Dako analyzed Rushel for a while, remaining silent, and then turned away. No, it's nothing. She decided to end the day's training there so everyone could rest. Staying behind, Ruchel looked at Dako melancholically, with doubts and sadness. The next day, the group headed toward the tower. When they got there, Slight tried to ask Dako for permission to use the holy sword, at least when they entered the tower. He was worried about the difficulty they would face, since this would affect the fate of the four of them. However, Dako reminded him that everyone had agreed to create a solid foundation, without any rush. That was only their second exploration in the first semester as rookies, so she didn't think they needed to worry. The main character agreed with Dako, although Slight didn't seem so convinced. The more he used the holy sword, the more dependent on it he became. Faced with the concept of the demonic spirit imbued with the Holy Spirit, Ban was no longer sure that it was really a holy sword. Anyway, it would be better to keep Slight away from that negative influence. Slight understood that he couldn't use the sword, but asked her not to blame him if he collapsed in the tower. However, faced with the request, he met a demonic Dako. Just like her, Ban also showed his cruel side. We're not gonna blame you, but don't forget, millions of subscribers are watching the video. While Slight cried, the main character accessed his internal codes. His stats appeared, as did the points of his skills and learned essences. With everything making sense, he also got his Snake Eve and the recorder Tyke ready. He would count on the two of them on this journey. Before they went in, Ruchel approached the main character. "I'll do my best in there, and I'll listen to everything you say." The main character thanked Ruchel for her dedication, asking her to believe in him, since he was also getting stronger in combat. With a bright smile, Ruchel was ready to count on Ban. Jealous, Dako looked down on Ruchel. "I just hope you last at least until Saturday night. If anyone gets eliminated, I'll punish them severely." While Slight tried to insist that they give him the sword, Dako called the main character aside. The main character was curious to know what she wanted. Dako wanted to clear some things up with him before they went in. Dako's words started harsh. "Today is the first evaluation. To be honest, I'm quite disappointed in you two. You haven't forgotten the promise you made to me, right?" In one of the first times she smiled, Dako had promised that he would take responsibility if things went wrong. Ban tried to be positive. "Of course I haven't forgotten. Besides, both of us have already started to change. You don't have to wait for the results because they're going to happen exactly as I said." Dako got ready to change the subject and talk about Ruchel, who showed up hiding behind one of the pillars. Before Dako started talking, she snapped her fingers. As soon as the sound echoed, Ruchel felt a strong pain in her ears. Hearing her scream, the main character turned around startled. Seeing Ruchel trying to listen to the conversation, Dako got annoyed and continued to snap her fingers. "Trying to listen to our conversation, aren't you? You're getting more and more daring in front of Ban and Ban." The main character was surprised because Dako's finger snaps seemed to be at a frequency he couldn't hear, probably something only perceptible to Ruchel. Getting back to the point, Dako asked the main character if he knew the meaning of submission. The main character replied that it meant being dominated, but that wasn't the correct answer for Dako. From the perspective of someone who is being dominated, it can be uncomfortable, but some people find stability in front of strong leadership. In that sense, that beast seems to genuinely like someone who can completely dominate and control her. Since Ban didn't seem to understand what she was saying, Dako tried to explain better. In other words, when that beast becomes uncontrolled, trying to communicate without emotion is useless. Even with this new explanation, Ban's mind was full of doubts, which annoyed the girl. Gritting her teeth, she told him to stop trying to understand and just memorize her words. Sighing, the main character agreed to keep that in mind and saw Dako turn her back to join Slight, who was already waiting for them to enter the tower. With the main character in the lead, the group approached the entrance. Putting his hand on the door, Ban asked if everyone was ready. Light was the first to nod, followed by Ruchel and Dako. With excitement, the main character started recording. "First years from the special admission, Class 11, the second exploration starts now." And so, he opened the doors of the tower, releasing a powerful light that enveloped them. Immediately, they were transported to a place where the floor seemed to be melting, attacking the labyrinthitis crisis of anyone who had it. Looking at the northern lights in the sky and the various square walls, Ban wondered where they were. After being caught by so many strange situations, Dako thought they would start on the first floor, but realized that wasn't the case. If you could get a view from above, you'd notice they were inside a gigantic labyrinth. While Slight investigated the place, the main character looked at his pendant, checking that they were on the 5th floor. Slight was relieved that they were on a normal floor, which made Doko question if he had become complacent. While the two were arguing once again, the main character noticed something. Ruchel was staring fixedly at one direction of the labyrinth. From there, she was sure she smelled a monster. Hearing that instead of finding the way, she had found a creature, Ban felt a certain nervousness, but what happened the next moment shocked him. In the direction Ruchel was looking, something started to appear, as if computer data were being transported. Immediately, Slight grabbed his sword, asking Ban what that was. The main character knew that was something different from what they had found on the 1st floor. It emitted an unpleasant crackling noise and had a distorted appearance, almost as if it were breaking. Without hesitation, Ruchel revealed her claws and attacked the creature. She hit her target, which split into data. Immediately, Ban received a notification. From what Ruchel had hit, he got several concepts: 0.1 glitch and noise points, 0.2 demonic spirit points, 0.05 malfunction points, and 0.01 inversion points. As Ban expected, that was a glitch phenomenon. When a signal was interrupted, both the graphics and the sound became distorted. This inverted force created a strange sense of fear, which turned into a monster. Since this was a completely different type of creature from the ones they had found before, there were many unknown concepts. He didn't know how the malfunction and inversion concepts worked. For now, Glitch had inversion, so it seemed pretty useful. It would be interesting to collect it. Lost in thought, Ban didn't realize he was being attacked, but with a blow of energy, Dako saved him immediately. Frowning, she reprimanded him. Ban and Yvonne stay focused. Defeating these things while escaping the labyrinth is going to be quite problematic. With Dako in the lead, they moved through the labyrinth, taking care not to get separated on the complex paths. While the main character was running, he received a message. They don't seem like creatures that would appear in room 5, but it's not that surprising. Ban was already satisfied that he was able to get several fragments of inversion points while escaping. However, remembering that he needed 100 points made him wonder if it was even worth the effort. The main character stopped running when he heard Ruchel scream. The girl, who was confronting one of the glitches, was carelessly moving forward, but was stopped by the main character. Summoning the chain made by Eve, he didn't let Ruchel fight alone to prevent her from going into a berserk state. Hearing Ban ask her to stay by his side, Ruchel immediately agreed. While Dako defeated several other glitches, she argued with the two of them. Hey, stop flirting and keep moving. Protecting Ruchel, the main character summoned another chain. He was leaving the concepts on the walls aside for now to focus on the battle. With her keen sense of smell, Ruchel was able to warn the main character when monsters were about to appear. Using the chains, the main character managed to collect inversion points by defeating the glitches. After running for several minutes, they still hadn't found an end to the labyrinth. Dako then revealed that she had memorized the entire path they had taken while running, and both she and Ban felt that, although the place seemed different, they had been there before. She concluded that it wasn't a normal labyrinth, but one that modified itself in real time. Faced with this situation, Dako assumed that the only option was to destroy it completely. Seeing her take a battle stance, the main character noticed something with his eye ability. He was so focused on collecting inversion that he had ignored an important detail. Dako wanted to destroy everything to reveal anything that was hidden, but the main character interrupted her, passing her by. Placing his hands on the walls of the labyrinth, he explained his reasoning. Logically, a path that's constantly changing doesn't make sense. That means there must be some trick hidden inside the walls. The main character felt the entire wall until he found a spot that sank when pressed like a hidden button. Ban received half a point of illusion for discovering the secret button, a concept that couldn't be owned by humans. With the wall in front of him disappearing, the main character smiled, celebrating that he was right. His gamble had paid off, and a path in front of him was revealed. Ruchel was curious to know how Ban had done that. With Slight thinking it was incredible that he had discovered the labyrinth's secret, the main character scratched his nose, trying to hide his pride. In fact, he had noticed it a little earlier, but ended up not saying anything because he had forgotten while collecting concepts. To hide this fact, the main character made up an excuse. I don't like to waste time. I just noticed a part of the wall that looked weird after we'd been walking for hours. Dako found Ban suspicious but didn't say anything. She was more surprised by the fact that he had found a flaw in the magic that even her own power hadn't detected. Watching the main character take the lead to guide the way, Dako told herself that, as she already expected, Ban wasn't just a common talent. The quartet continued to move through the labyrinth while defeating the glitches. This time, they found a giant elite glitch, even though they were only on their second exploration. For Slight, this only confirmed that their experience was different from the explorations of the other groups. Ruchel thought the same. Even after defeating the elite monster and gaining many concept points, The main character stood still, staring into the void, which worried Ruchel. She thought he might be injured, but Ban soon reassured her. The truth was that he was worried. He was 1,000th of a mana point away from reaching 200, but that number refused to go up. Even after absorbing more than enough concepts in the last 3 hours, his mana didn't reach 200 points, a problem that the concepts of life and body had never faced. Noticing his state, Dako approached and whispered in his ear, "What's going on? What's wrong with you? You don't look hurt." The main character was startled by Dako's